In today's video, I'm going to show you how to casually crush it with content on social media if you're a healer, coach, or conscious leader, or someone who wants to use social media to get more clients. I'm John Patrick Muller. I'm a former Buddhist monk, and I took my gifts and skill in guiding meditations and helping people spiritually and turned it into an online spiritual coaching business. I fell in love with digital marketing along the way. And I started a marketing agency. I started helping local businesses get clients. And then I sort of rebranded to help conscious leaders like you to grow their business, get more clients, and to rise personally and professionally. Okay, so today I'm gonna show you something that's helped me, it's helped lots of my clients to make 5-figure months. And I call it casually crushing it with content. Okay, so it's casual because you just do a little bit every week. It's not a launch. You don't have to put in all the effort all up front. It's just like every week you do 1 or 2 of these types of posts and it's going to bring people to you. Okay, so I'm gonna share with you the 4 R's. Okay, the 4 R's are the way that you're gonna do this. And each R has 3 parts. And so there's actually 12 different magnets that we're gonna use today. Okay, and so let's get down to it. So the first R is results. You're going to share results. Now there's 3 types of results that you're going to share. You're going to talk about your own results. You're going to talk about your client results. And you're going to talk about the potential results of your future client, of your prospect. Okay, so let's just say that I'm in your audience and you're posting on social media. I want to hear about the results that you've gotten in your own life or business or whatever area of expertise that you have. You have to post about those results, such as I lost 28 pounds in 4 weeks naturally, blah, 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 or I made this much money, or I got this relationship, or whatever, right? So you post about your own results. You also post about results that you've helped your clients to get. These are really the most powerful results are really not your own, but they're your clients, right? Just like when I tell you that yesterday I just posted a screenshot from my Stripe account where earlier I made $38,000 in 6 weeks, cash, okay? Now, none of that was like a one-time payment. They were all recurring money. So this is money that isn't just a one-time payment. All of it was payments on a payment plan. And so what it means is that there was lots more where that came from, coming, and that had already come and that was still coming at that point. I hope that makes sense. So 38K cash in 6 weeks, all of it recurring revenue, is pretty special. Okay, now when I tell you about that, some people are like, whoa, that's awesome. But when I tell you that one of my clients made $28,000 in 3 weeks, or another one made $60,000 in, I think, in just one single launch. Someone else made $200,000 in one launch. Someone else made $21,000 in a launch in 4 weeks. Someone else made $23,000 or something in 6 weeks, the first 6 weeks of my program, etc. Right? When I tell you about these things, or someone else, blah, blah, if I kept going on these, you would probably be a little bit more impressed, right? Especially if I told you they were all healers and coaches who were starting from almost nothing. They had very little online presence. They had very little business experience, and they were good at what they did, but they didn't know how to do marketing, and they were extremely heart-centered, and they were resistant to technology, and they didn't even know where to start. So if I tell you that, now you're like, that probably has a bigger impact. Okay, so you need to share not just your results, but your client results. Now, in the beginning, you may not have that many paying clients, and you may not have that many client results. Like when I started my coaching business, you better believe I did not have those types of results. Of course not, right? Those are all from paying clients. But I do have, I had other results that I shared that were at least impressive, right? And sometimes you work for free, sometimes you work at a low price, sometimes you work for low prices considering how much work you're doing, right? For example, if you do very hands-on work with someone, maybe you give them 10 sessions in just 2 months or something like this, right? It's very intensive work that you're doing, and maybe for the right person, they can handle that, and maybe they pay you maybe $1,000 for this. Like, at least that means that they're gonna have their butt in their seat, right? Sometimes you just charge people so that they put their butt in the seat, and then you do extensive work, and then you can tell people later, I helped this person do this thing, and you know, in the beginning you gather testimonials, and those testimonials are worth their weight in gold. So you must, in the beginning, you shouldn't really focus on making money. You should focus on getting really good testimonials, because those testimonials are the magnets that attract everybody. Okay, this is really important. And what you do for me is I like to make my price low enough that people will say yes. And in the beginning, my sales abilities were very, very extremely poor, I would say. They were horrible. They were literally one of the worst people alive, I think. Like, I was confident and excited, but I just didn't know anything about sales. Okay? So if you're like that, if you don't think that you're good at sales, then, or even if you do, it doesn't matter. What I would say is you want your price to be the highest amount that you know you'll get a yes for, right? The highest amount that you know you'll get a yes for in the beginning, because you need the experience and you need the story. A testimonial isn't just when a person talks about what you did, also a story. It's called a case study, right? When you are the one telling the result. You don't need them to do anything. You don't need your clients to write you a review or to make you a video or anything. You can be the one who tells the story, just like what I did. Okay, now getting their testimonials is even better, but you can just share these results yourself. Okay, so we're on results. We have your own results, we have your client results, and we have the results, the future results that you are offering somebody. So you can say whatever that is. Hey, would you like to lose 10 pounds in the next 10 days? That may not be possible. Maybe, do you want to lose the next 10 pounds in 10 weeks or whatever, right? And so it's about, do you want this? Who here wants this? Would you like this? You're getting people in who want the result. That's the magnet, right? You really want to bring people in who want those results, and all you have to do is ask questions. Who here wants this result? Would you like this result? You're not promising them the result just by asking them the question. You're just saying, who would like this? Do you guys want that? I would love to help this, 4 people lose 10 pounds in 10 weeks. Who here would like to be part of that, right? Who here would like to learn how? And so you're going to get people in who are the right fit when you do that. And if you're sharing your own results and your client results, then that sort of proves that you know what you're doing. And that's actually enough for most people. For a lot of people, especially when it comes to the emotional decision making, it's actually logical too, right? If you ask who here wants this result, and I say yes, and you say, well, you've gotten this result, and you've also helped a bunch of clients get this result, now my brain understands, oh, not only can they help me, but they've already helped themselves and others. That seems like, why wouldn't it work for me? As long as I put in the work, no problem, right? So this is almost enough, actually. This is almost enough. But now I'm gonna share the other 3 R's. Okay, so that was results. The second one is relationship. Now, there's 2 types of relationship here. In general, you need to focus on building relationships with ideal clients, and also relationships with collaborators, relationships with your mentors, right? And so there's sort of like 3 types of relationships that you have. There's people that you are above in terms of result and progress and experience. There's people who are on a similar level as you, and there's people who are above you. And if you can focus on having a good relationship with all 3 of those, you'll be fine, right? If you have a good relationship with your mentors, you're gonna learn a lot from them. If you can create some relationships with collaborators, right? Maybe if you're the weight loss coach, maybe there's someone else who does, but you do it through like exercise and someone else does it through diet. You could interview each other. You could do a collaboration. Maybe somebody is a mindset coach and you're more of strategy, right? Maybe you do your thing, but someone else does accountability, and you can alternate, you can collaborate with them. By collaborating with other people who have perceived expertise in the marketplace, you will gain some of that expertise, right? In the beginning, this is what I did, right? I was brand new to the world of online marketing. Nobody knew me. And so I just collaborated with other people who were experts in their fields. And then all of a sudden it looks like I'm an expert too. And I really was, but I needed the perception of me as an expert. And if you are collaborating with other people who are perceived as an expert, you will then be perceived as an expert. That's just how it works. Okay, so you can have that. And then, you're building a relationship with ideal clients. So you should be focused on that. Don't go for sales. Don't go for let me get some sales right now. Go for building relationships with ideal clients. And you do that by talking to them, right? Some people are afraid to talk to their ideal clients. I used to hide behind a wall of technology. I did anything but talk to ideal clients. You can imagine that didn't work very well for me. Sorry, I'm a little bit stuffed up today. That didn't work very well for me. And, it's one of the simplest things that will lead to success. It's just like when you make content, think of creating a relationship with ideal clients. And then when you DM people, think about that you're just nurturing that relationship and making it stronger. And then when you can hop on little quick calls with people with no real intention, just like the only intention is to build that relationship. And if it looks like you can help somebody, make them an offer. But if you do that within a relationship, they're gonna want to keep talking to you. Okay, so that's number 2 is relationships. But actually, there's 3 other types of relationship that I'd like to talk about now in terms of content. Okay, my meditation teacher taught me this when he was teaching me and others how to teach classes. So as a teacher, and in your content, you can kind of be a teacher, you're going to find relationships between topics, okay? So let's just say that you have 12 different topics that you could talk about, right? Now, one thing that you could do is find the relationship between 2 topics, right? So what's the relationship between high intensity workout and keto diet, right? What's the relationship between intermittent fasting and circadian rhythms, right? If you can find any topics that you actually talk about, ask yourself, what's the relationship between these 2 topics? It could be what's the relationship between the law of attraction and Buddhist meditation? It's kind of interesting, right? What's the relationship between boundaries and communication? What's the relationship between boundaries and self-discipline? What's the relationship between accountability and empowerment? Kind of cool. You can have an infinite number of topics. If you just take any 2 of them and put them next to each other and think, what's the relationship between these 2? Now you have a new, beautiful piece of content that is going to be unique and different than anything anybody's ever heard. This is how I'm able to create amazing content all the time, because I am always thinking, what's the relationship between these things? And I take I take the foundation of what I already understand, and then I find any new topic that's hot, and I'm what's the relationship between narcissism and whatever else I'm thinking, emotional intelligence. And then now you have a cool piece of content that's going to be cutting edge. You can always do this, okay? Another thing that you can do is think, what's the relationship between your main piece of content? What's the main stuff that you talk about, or any of the main things that you talk about? What's the relationship between that and your daily life? This is also what a good meditator does, right? We're always finding the relationship between our daily life and our spiritual practice, or whatever your expertise is. What's the relationship between when you went on a walk and you saw the blue bird yelling at the red bird, and then they both flew away, and blah, blah. What's the relationship between that and the spiritual toolbox that you have, or whatever is your topic, right? you can find what's the relationship between that. And if you can use that to tell a little story that leads back to your main content, now you have very interesting content, right? I was watching a movie last night. Actually, the last two movies that I watched. I have a new wife, right? We just got married. New meaning new. It's my first wife. It's my first ever and only wife. But we're pretty new, and we watch the movies sometimes. And the last couple movies, there have been a theme about kind of breaking the rules a little bit, and how it can actually be beneficial, but also dangerous to break some rules. And for me, this relates to the topic that's been on my heart, which is teaching manifestation. And so if you're following me on Facebook, I just put out a post today, at the time of filming this, about offering some help with manifestation if anybody wants to receive support in manifesting wealth or relationships or whatever. I'm putting out a new offer. But for me, I found a relationship between those movies and manifestation, because manifestation feels like it's breaking the rules for me. It feels like I'm going outside the box. It's like, oh, business strategy feels like the general rule set, but manifestation is just a quick path. You can skip a lot of those things and just get a result, right? And they work really well together, but the truth is I already have a foundation. So I don't need to like beat myself up for like manifesting or like, but also I found a relationship there. So I could make a piece of content about how these two characters in these two movies broke the rules and how it was beneficial, even though it was dangerous, and how, for me, manifestation is like that. When you're trying to create wealth in your business, you can use the strategy way, or you can just simply manifest and break some rules, but also get great results, right? And here's how you can do it in a way that doesn't abuse your power, etc., right? And so that's a cool, what I did was I found the relationship between the topic that was on my heart and whatever was happening around me. And you're probably already doing this, but this is endless content. You can always create content, and this is actually the best content to make because it's interesting for casual readers, but it's also interesting for raving fans. It's interesting for everybody. It's kind of like Seinfeld, right? Seinfeld, the show, was about just like normal things in daily life, and Jerry would use everything around him to teach comedy. His comedy skits were just projected into his 3D world, and he would find comedy in everything. And that was pretty much the show. Nothing really happened, right? But he found comedy in everything. And so you can find your topic in everything, and then you just talk about it. You just publish it. Instead of making a TV show, you have your own content channel, and you just publish it on there, whether it's YouTube, Facebook, or whatever that you want to use. Okay? So then that's the second type of relationship, is life. So you have your topic, two topics with each other, but then you have your topic and then life, and what's the relationship between those. And the third is the most important one, actually, which is your ideal client's life and your topic. You're always kind of teaching that relationship. It's never just your topic. It's always the relationship between what your ideal client is going through right now and your topic. That's the relationship. That's the money spot, right? If you can find that midway point between their life and your topic and how they relate to each other, that's the kind of type of content that people read and they're like, oh, this person's talking just to me. They feel understood, and therefore now they trust you for any solutions that you would give. Okay? So this is really good advice. And you should think about this, One very good piece of advice I received that I have practiced is write a day in the life in your ideal client's mind, right? And you're like a journal entry. Pretend that you are your ideal client and write a journal entry. Write a journal entry as if you're them for just one day, right? That's kind of really interesting. And then you'll gain all these beautiful insights into who they are. And then what you do is you find the relationship between that and then what you've got to offer, or your solutions, or whatever, right? Whatever your topics are, or whatever your primary kind of topic is. And that relationship is your whole business. That's the point that your whole business comes from. Okay? And so that's relationship, That's the third one for relationships. Okay, so now we're doing reality TV. So interestingly, when you do online business, you become like a miniature celebrity, right? Especially if you are a solopreneur or if you don't have any team or even like a big team, like you are the face of your business. And we don't win by being better than big corporations. Like you're not gonna be better than Tony Robbins, right? But what you can do is you can be more human than them. When you're more human than these big companies, you can win. You can win because you will touch the hearts of your listeners, and people relate to people. They don't relate to big corporations. And by the way, Tony Robbins is technically a corporation. Even though he still is the face of his business, it is a corporation, right? And how much human interaction do you actually get with him, right? Very, very little, right? Compared to how much you can give. So if you're more human in your content, and if you're more human in your delivery, you win, right? Tony Robbins might charge $10,000 just to look at somebody. You might charge $10,000 for a full year of one-to-one working with somebody. Which one's more valuable, right? So you can totally win as long as you just give what you have. You can give yourself. And in your content, rather than trying to be fancy or trying to be corporate, a lot of people think that marketing has to do, they try to imitate corporations when they make content. And they have these, they think they need like faceless, weird logo stuff. Trust me, people don't care about that. People don't even care, right? What they want is a human. They want a human that they can relate to. And so you just be that. Just show up as a real human. And in a sense, you become a miniature celebrity. So what that means though, is that people aren't just looking at what you say, they're watching what you do. And they want to see somebody who's already living the lifestyle that they want. Your clients are looking for someone who's already living the ideal lifestyle that they want. That's what they're looking for, right? And so 50% of your content is just you showing off your lifestyle, that you already have it. Now, if you don't have the lifestyle that your ideal clients wants, you need to adjust your lifestyle until you do. You need to actually have it, right? And sometimes it just means making a couple shifts, right? If my ideal clients want a life of freedom and they want to build a business where they make money, but they also have a lot of time freedom, but yet I'm working, 40, 50 hours a week on my business behind a computer, talking about that, like I won't be authentic. I can't show off my lifestyle, right? But if I find a way to kind of cut back on my hours and do less and accomplish more and sort of work 20 hours a week, right? And still make a lot of money and have all this time, like then I can start showing off my lifestyle with that free time. I can show off, here's what I'm doing, right? Hey, I got this business, I made X amount of money today, but look, I'm on vacation, which has happened to me. My first time I had an $8,000, was it $8,300 day. It wasn't all cash. That's how much money was sold on that day. It wasn't like I made that much in cash the first time, but I had made that many sales on that day. That would equal $8,300 if all the payments come through, which some of them did. But I did that while on vacation. It was literally after a 3-day drive from Michigan to Florida, and I spent my day at the pool and at the beach mostly, right? And I just had like 3 calls, and on those 3 calls we made that much money. Okay, so that was something that we showed off, and then that attracted more people. So you want to make whatever tweaks that you have to in your lifestyle so that you are like this miniature celebrity where you are literally leading the ideal lifestyle or living the lifestyle that your ideal client wants. That is going to be impressive for them. That is going to speak really more loudly than your content actually. Than your written content or your verbal content. So you just show it. So what I say is be, do, show. You be it, then you do it, then you show it. First, you got to adjust your being. Then you have to do things, right? For example, right now I'm in Morocco. I'm in Morocco, and I'm literally spending a lot of time with my wife lately, and I'm eating delicious food. I'm running the entire business online, and you know, in some ways is really great, but my surroundings don't actually look that beautiful right now compared to when I'm in Florida. And so this has actually been harder for me lately because it's just not that beautiful here, to be honest. It really is not that beautiful. There's a lot of trash. People don't have a lot of respect for this place. And so there's trash everywhere, and it's a desert too. And so there's not a lot of green stuff. There's no water really around where I'm currently at. And it's beautiful in the energy. The energy here is very, very, very beautiful. And the food is very beautiful. And the amount of free time that I have right now is extremely beautiful. But like, I'm doing my best, right? So I'm doing my best to show off the lifestyle that I do have. And that part of it is attractive. And also, yeah, I mean, I'm focusing on these videos lately, so yeah. So what I'm saying is do the best with what you got, but you want to start being it first. Make sure that you're being it. So right now, because I actually spend very little time working these days, and I can show that off, right? I'm showing off the fact that I'm in really good shape now, right? And I have a really great relationship. And so that speaks to people who want those things, right? And so anyway, the point is, for you is to start being the result first and doing the things. Take some time to do things that look good. I know that sounds like that doesn't sound like good advice, but it does work. And it's about a vibe. It's about a vibe. For example, if I go out and I get a coffee and I sit at the coffee shop with my coffee and my notebook out and I take a picture, that's pretty decent content, right? That looks pretty good. And so sometimes it's just about doing a little bit more. Like it might already be being the vibe, but now you have to do something so you can document it. You have to do something. So take a trip to the beach, take a vacation, go into nature, go hiking, right? Go on a boat, right? Whatever it is, go to a luxury spa, like get into the vibe, but then whatever the vibe sort of would call in, just do it. It might be a small investment of your time or energy or money, but if you document it, this is what a celebrity does. This is reality TV. You're showing off your lifestyle. Now, the other thing about reality TV is it's actually really what people want to see. People don't want to see stock photos, and people don't want to see fake stuff. In fact, people don't even want to see scripted stuff usually. People like reality TV these days, right? That's why it blew up. The Kardashians, Jersey Shore, Survivor. People want reality TV. And why do you think they're on social media? They're on social media because they literally want reality TV. They want it. They want real, raw, unscripted. You can get to be that. You can just start being real, raw, and unscripted and just show yourself more. Do some stories where you're just talking to the camera. Just be yourself, but like be in the vibe that you want that your ideal client wants to be in, and then just like record yourself. Just show it up. Hey everyone, today I'm going out for a walk. Today I'm getting a smoothie. Today blah 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 blah, and you're just showing off what you're already doing. You have to start putting effort into that, and a lot of people are shy, but this is the main area where a lot of people fail, actually, is they think their content has to be professional. People don't care, right? One of my clients, a couple years ago told me that the main piece of content that I made that made her want to work with me was the fact that one day in the early morning, I took my phone. I didn't even think about this. This was not scripted or pre-planned. I didn't even think about it even for like a second. And I just woke up, and for some reason I decided to go live. And I went live on my phone, and I started talking to the phone, and it was on Facebook. And I did what I usually do in the morning. So while I was walking, I went outside on the cold, wet grass in bare feet. And so I'm talking about whatever I was talking about, but then I was like, look, And today I'm out there with the cold white grass with my bare feet on, and I'm grounding and blah, blah, blah. And that was just part of the flow of what I was doing. I was literally just in flow of my morning, but I recorded myself while I was doing it. And she told me later that she loved the fact that I was grounding in the morning, and part of her resonated with that very deeply, and it made her trust me or would want to work with me or whatever, right? And so it's going to be these little things that the people really resonate with, the little things. And if your type of work corresponds to what they want or need, then they'll choose you if you have little things that match up with them. So again, you don't have to think about it too much. Just start recording yourself more often. I know that you might, I don't know what you're thinking, but I do know that that what I've learned is that this is one place that people get stopped the most. There's actually two. So, okay, I learned this from Steven Larson, who was working with ClickFunnels for a while. And with ClickFunnels, he was one of the primary coaches. So he's a former military guy. He became an online business person, and you may have heard of him. He's not that big, but for a while he was the main coach in a company called ClickFunnels. He was one of the main coaches in a company called ClickFunnels, and they had thousands, tens of thousands of students. And he said that the two areas, having worked with many people, the two areas where people failed the most, there was two things that people failed to do. Like anyone who didn't make it, they always had these two things in common. They wouldn't step up as the attractive character, meaning being the face of the business and really living that part and owning it. And they didn't make content every day. Those are the two things. He said those are the two requirements for that type of business that they taught you how to build. And by the way, I'm teaching you a very similar type of business. Publish content. It doesn't have to be every single day, but like 4 times a week at minimum. You have to publish a lot. Publish every day or 4 times a week, minimum. That's one thing. And it's not that hard. If you follow the advice I already gave you, this is not hard to do, right? And then the other one was stepping up as the attractive character. Like you're not being the part. You have to be that part. You have to be the magnet. Be the magnet for your clients. And if you follow what I just told you, you can see a very simple way to do that. So anyway, I don't know why a lot of people they'd rather fail than to step up. And if that's you, I'm sorry. If you'd rather fail and have an excuse than step up and have success, you may, I don't know, if watching more videos might help you, but you should really think about that. Why would you rather fail and feel comfortable than step up and feel uncomfortable and yet win? If all you have to do is publish 4 times a week, something, even a 1-sentence post counts, even a picture with 1 word and a question mark counts. Like this counts as content, right? Even a 2-minute Facebook Live counts. And if all you do is just get into the vibe that your ideal client wants to be and just show it off. Just show it off more. Trust me, people want to see it. Okay, so just do those 2 things and you will have a lot more success, or a lot more chance at success. Okay, and so coming back now that we covered 3 R's. We covered results, relationships, and reality TV. And the 4th one that I recently added to this mixture is called reflections. Reflections is the 4th R. Okay, so with reflections, there's 3 different cool types of reflection. A reflection means you're giving them a teaching. You're sharing some piece of knowledge or some content. You can call it a reflection. A reflection is something that doesn't happen in the moment. It happens after the moment, right? A reflection is not the thing. A reflection is an effect of the thing, right? So the reality TV is more like you're in that life and you're talking about things as they go down. But maybe you go on like a retreat or like a conference, right? Or like a really long walk in the woods, and you do some thinking while you're there with some classical music in your ears, whatever, right? Now, you could document that by showing it while you're doing it, or after the fact, after you've learned some new things from it, you can make a post from a very clear and still place, after the fact. And we can call that reflection. It's a reflection of the event. Now, this doesn't have to be from a thing. It could be like I'm sitting down in the morning after I just woke up. Maybe I meditate or I have a tea or coffee, and I'm just like sitting and I'm reflecting. And then a really good thought comes to me, and I take out my phone, blah, 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 and I post it. I just shared a reflection. It could be a 1-sentence post about something really interesting, or it could be a long written post, or it could be, a video. But that's a reflection. Now, there's 3 types. The first type is called inspiring edutainment. This is maybe the main one. Our content in general, a really good piece of content, you can call inspiring edutainment. Inspiring edutainment. This is what real influencers do, right? You're not just an educator, you're an entertainer, right? You're an entertainer. You have to really be okay with being an entertainer, right? People want to be entertained, and you're inspiring. The main type of value that you can actually provide to somebody when they're in the beginning of their journey is inspiration. Actually, all throughout the journey, inspiration is required. Anyone who's going to have a breakthrough needs to be inspired, or they can't have a breakthrough. Okay? So, you need to be inspiring. Literally be inspiring. Share inspiring thoughts. Inspiring means that the person connects to some aspect of divinity when they're engaging in your stuff. Okay? So inspiring edutainment. So you kind of take some education, but you wrap it in this package that is inspiring and that is entertaining. It's kind of cool, right? Like, any piece of content that you have, don't just deliver it as a cold, dry, you will eat this, right, thing. It's not like that. Like, make it inspiring. My teacher used to say that we need to be like a mother bird when we give a class. Be a mother bird, give them simple food, right? Give your students simple food like a mother bird does. It means you chew it up yourself first, and you just give them something that's easy to digest, right? Don't just give people random facts and sort of content and expect them to digest it all. You have to give them simple food. You have to pre-digest some of it. You have to chew it up first. And in particular, in this case, you need to wrap it in this package of inspiration and entertainment. And then it'll go down easier, and it'll be more favorable for people. People will receive it better. Okay, so inspiring edutainment is one. And then the other one, the second one, is called a controversial truth. Controversial truth is something that, like, in your industry, if you are truly an expert in your field, then you know some truths that are controversial. You know some things that the mainstream does not know. And now you just have to go and start sharing those things, right? So you could probably make a list right now of like 12 things that are controversial truths that may not be controversial for you. Maybe they're just truths, but maybe you know that the mainstream would not agree with you, right? For example, putting butter in coffee will help you lose weight, or whatever, right? There's any controversial truth that you know. I could say, like, if you meditate more than 25 minutes per session, you're gonna develop, this is bad for you or whatever. I don't know. Like, controversial. So just find a way to cut through. You cut through the noise of the market by sharing a truth. Truth always penetrates, right? So you want to find a way to share truth that would shock people a little bit. Okay, now the other way of saying a controversial truth would be, I call it a unique insight. It's a special insight. It's a unique insight that you have that a lot of people don't have. Such as, if I were to say that, being an empath doesn't just mean that you attract narcissists because you're nice. It means that you have a narcissistic part within you that you need to recognize and purify and release. Or else how could you attract them? Right? That's a unique insight or a controversial truth. Now, some people may not agree with me, but that's why it's controversial. Okay? I would say you can't attract something unless you have a part of you that is like that. Right? There's a lot. Narcissism is extremely controversial. So you can share it. You can share things about narcissism if you want to. And anyway, yeah, controversial truth. So these are the 3 types of reflections. It's a unique insight, controversial truths, or inspiring edutainment. And these can really be after some sort of cool event or cool thing that happened that you just share after the fact, or it can just be general reflections about life and about your expertise. Okay, so this is kind of it. And so what you want to do is you want to pick, these are 12 different things, and you just want to now start sharing them. And like I did say, probably 3 to 6 times a week is a good frequency for this. Maybe 3 to 6 times a week. You're just going to pick one of these, and what I would do and what I have done is I'll take a journal out, and maybe I spend like one morning per month, and I just like fill a bunch of pages with some content ideas, not with the full content, not with a fully formed piece of content, but just like the seed of an idea. So I'll write down like empath versus narcissist, or write down 5 meditation tips for a better life, or whatever. And I just write down some content ideas, some titles or whatever for content. And I might fill up a notebook, a page, or half a page, or 2 pages. And then this is like a dump. You don't try to formulate it into content yet. You just dump it. And then later, when you're like, okay, it's Monday, I just woke up, I'm gonna make some content. You just look in your journal and you're like, oh, you know, it looks like I wrote here something really cool. I bet you I could develop, I'm in the mood to develop this one today. And then you develop it into one piece of content, you hit post, and then you're done, right? Or you just take the headline and you're like, 5 cool meditation tips for a better life. You write that down and you just go live. Hey everyone, today I just want to share with you my 5 cool tips for a better life, right? And then you do it, and that's it. And Facebook Lives can be very short. You don't have to go long for them. And that's it. So do that 3 to 6 times a week, and and over time your content will develop and get really good, and you'll be casually crushing it with content. You'll be attracting all the right people. When you do a promotion, or when you make an offer, or whatever, when you have a workshop or whatever that you want to invite people to, within the context of really good content over time, you'll have an audience, you'll have a relationship with people. People will already trust you and know you as an expert, and they're gonna want to work with you, okay? And so don't just think about your social media as a place to attract clients. It's not, it's a place to give value first, and a place to keep a warm relationship going. And then you can make promotions and make offers and stuff, and it'll work. Okay, so this is how you casually crush it with content. Please do enjoy, and I hope to see you in the next video. Please subscribe, and if you want to work with me and my team to get help, for example, I have Facebook Live formulas. I can teach you how to do workshops that lead to sales. I can teach you how to do one-to-ones that lead to sales, and I can just build some of it for you. If you'd like to get my help and my team, click below, you can apply, and either way, I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.